G'day and welcome back to the channel, Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I'm the Ginger Ninja and these are my Trashy Tuesday movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. You're probably wondering, why am I looking at trashy films? Well, to me, trashy doesn't always mean bad. Trashy is a select amount of films that have a certain je ne sais quoi to them. They've got a bit of charm to them. They've got something that, I don't know, that sets them apart from other films. Now, don't get me wrong, some trashy films can be really bad. Others, not so much. Anyway, before we get into the movie that we're looking at today, I do want to say a big thank you to all my new and existing subscribers. Yeah, I say it every week, but I truly mean it. Thank you so much for your support. Now, for the movie. You might remember a little while back, I looked at a movie called 1990, The Bronx Warriors. Well, today we are diving into the sequel, Escape from the Bronx from 1983, directed by enzogcastellari. I hope I'm pronouncing that name right. I'm probably not, but yeah. Anyway, the film stars Markgregory, again, as the main character, Trash. We also have Valeria Diabossi, again, probably butchering that name, so I apologize. Giancarlo Preet and Henrysilva, plus many, many more. Now, you might remember last week also reviewed Alligator, which led me on to this one because Henrysilva was in that. So, unfortunately, I didn't have it in this book for some reason. It had 1990, The Bronx Warriors, and it briefly mentioned its sequels. Yes, there is another sequel. Might get to it in the future. But anyway, the plot. A ragtag group of people must fight extermination squads amid their ruined city. Yeah, pretty much accurate. Yeah, there's a little bit more to it, and I'll get into some of the films that this rips off. And I mean rip off in the nicest way possible. So if you're into gritty post-apocalyptic chaos mixed with some B-movie charm, Escape from the Bronx might scratch that itch. It is a sequel, like I mentioned, to the action flick 1990, The Bronx Warriors, but this one kind of doubles down on the dystopian mayhem, and it has that low-budget, high-octane blend of exploitation tropes that we've come to expect. And it has a Mad Max-esque anarchy, and it really does deliver on what it promises. Outrageous action, dubious dialogue, and a hefty dose of unintentional humour. So, let's get back into the Bronx, but see if we can escape from the Bronx.
Tuesday's never gonna plan. 80s horror in a blitz of tan. VHS tapes down midnight fan. Stop by 9 years, leads them through the night. Alien wars in a neon fight. Android streaming, caught in freaking light. Trashy Tuesdays, it's a pure delight.
So, kicking it off with the cast, we have Markgregory returning as the brooding leader, and he brings a very unique screen presence. His stoic demeanor and imposing look create a character that, while not deeply nuanced, is visually compelling and fits in with the film's tone perfectly. You know, with a unbelievably fabulous mane of hair and a very stiff gait as he walks around. Gregory's wooden acting somehow fits the aesthetic. It's so bad it's good. You know, he still has that tough as nails approach, and he has this smouldering charisma throughout the film, but he is missing the charm or warmth that Mel Gibson had in Mad Max 2, or even Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken in Escape from New York. But in all honesty, it's Henrysilva that steals the show as the unhinged villain, Floyd Wrangler, the leader of the Death Squads. Now, this is very similar to Vic Morrow, who played the bad guy in the first film. They shine in this. The villains are they're the cherry on the cake, the topping of this cheesiness cake. I'm a bit hungry if you can't tell. Silva's over-the-top performance is deliciously evil. Again, food reference. I'm hungry. Complete with icy glares and maniacal glee. The remaining supporting performances are very inconsistent. They range from passable to outright hammy. And it's a motley crew of tough guys, screaming victims, and overacting extras. They're definitely not nuanced, but they fit the chaotic, campy vibe like a glove. So now on to the directing and the writing. And look, enzogcastellari is known for his knack of shooting action on a shoestring budget. He proved that with 1990's Bronx Warriors, and Escape from the Bronx is no exception. The stunts are surprisingly ambitious for the film, especially one of this caliber. There's plenty of explosions, pyrotechnics, and shootouts galore. Castellari makes a good use of the grimy urban wasteland setting, and he fills the screen with crumbling buildings and fire-filled alleyways and just piles of rubble. And they look good. The setup is really good. It suits the tone, it suits the mood, probably more so than the first one, 1990, The Bronx Warriors, because this, there are a few little stuff ups, to be honest. When they go into the subway system, like obviously they can't close off the street, so there's lots of people milling around. And I mean, to get from point A to point B, if they've closed off the Bronx, surely there's no security there. Like there'd have to be something. But anyway, the pacing is quite relentless. Like once it starts, it really does start, and it leaves little room to breathe between the action sequences. However, there is a very repetitiveness to this structure. Ambush, shootout, repeat. It does start to wear thin after a little while. And you can tell that, just from the title, you can tell that it heavily borrows from Escape from New York, Escape from the Bronx, Escape from New York, and Escape from New York came out in 81. So, and then, there are other elements of post-apocalyptic films, and it does make it feel very unoriginal. It leans on tropes without adding anything particularly fresh or innovative to the genre. But this is what we've actually come to expect from these films, right? This is why we enjoy them. They are familiar. They are comfort food. Beneath the B-movie trappings, the film actually does have some, things to say. It critiques corporate greed and urban renewal at the expense of marginalized communities. The mega corporations plan to cleanse the Bronx, and its violent methods of doing so resonate as an exaggerated but biting critique of gentrification. Now on to the effects. And look, to be honest, this film doesn't have a lot of special effects, not a lot of prosthetics, things like that. There are a few when you see some bodies lying around, but this film excels in delivering non-stop action, from shootouts to explosions. Escape from the Bronx keeps the adrenaline pumping. Castellari's direction shines in these moments, especially when it comes to stunt work and pyrotechnics. And that's what I want to highlight in the effects. These are done really well. The stunt work, the pyrotechnics are done exceptionally well. The way they use the flamethrowers, they pan around, the way he shoots it, makes it look as though it's coming directly towards the person. It's an exceptional piece of work there. The costume designs are a highlight as well, with the soldiers in these nice shiny outfits and the eccentric outfits of the various gang members, again, adding to the film's kitschy appeal. In the first one, there were all these different gangs. In this one, we don't have as many different gangs, but you do see them in an underground cave, and it's kind of like a melting pot of all the gangs. So you see these costumes here and there. I do also want to point out the music, composed by Francesco Damasio. It's a very synth-heavy score, but it fits perfectly, and it complements the film's gritty punk atmosphere. It's equal parts cheesy and effective, and it drives the energy of these action sequences. So now on to rewatchability, and Escape from the Bronx isn't a great movie in the traditional sense, but it's undeniably entertaining if you know what you're in for. It's a perfect example of the so bad it's good genre, packed with campy performances, ridiculous dialogue, and a shameless dedication to excess. As a follow-up, this is fine, but it will be interesting to see where the series ends. Like I said, there is a third one, so I probably will find myself watching this again at some point, but maybe after a few drinks though. So, final verdict. Escape from the Bronx is quintessential 1980s Italian exploitation cinema. Brash, violent, and unapologetically excessive. While it lacks polish, depth, and the subtlety of its high-budget contemporaries like Escape from New York, it succeeds as a raw, energetic slice of cult entertainment. For fans of post-apocalyptic films or those who love B-movie charm, Escape from the Bronx is a must-watch. For others, its flaws may prove too difficult or too distracting to fully enjoy. For a score, Escape from the Bronx gets a 6 out of 10. And there you have it. That is my review of Escape from the Bronx. Have you seen this film? If you have, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. I'm keen to hear your thoughts because, like I said, I really enjoyed the first one. And I think when I reviewed that, I still gave it a 6. So for a sequel to be as on the same par as the original, I think that's a pretty good setup for the third one. So hopefully we will get into the third one. But hey, with this one, let me know what you thought of it down in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please do hit that thumbs up button. It'd be much appreciated. And you might as well subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I do release a new review. Obviously, doing my Trashy Tuesdays. Had Alligator last week, Escape from the Bronx this week. Who knows what it'll be next week. And of course, Franchise Fridays. Looking at the Tremors series. And I think we've got the 4th one coming up this week, which is a prequel. So yeah, that'll be fun. Now, we also do have a new little thing I'm doing here and there. There's nothing too scheduled, though. I will be looking at some public domain films for future reviews. So make sure you keep an eye out for them because I'll be streaming them on my channel. We'll have a discussion in the comments as well while we watch the movie. We just did The House on Haunted Hill, and that was a super fun one to do. Had a great group of people having a chat in the comments, talking about the movie. So yeah, a lot of fun. Definitely looking forward to doing more of them. But anyway, before I jabber on too much, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. Bye.
Let